They'll probably say, where exactly are you going with this? I see you really trying to take it there. Old school flow, chew you out, ain't fair. Jordan pants don't...
Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zab. Anyway, before I even get into what I want to get into, of course, you seen the last video. Some people were put off by the fact that I chose to address it, and some people feel like I should be more sensitive to people's plight. But at the end of the day, it's like you're just absolutely not paying attention to what's going on in the world. And regardless of what my status is as far as like being hood and gangster, whatever you want to call the ex-gang member, I still have a right to speak on my environment. Not only my environment, but things that I see. That's why it's Nil to Zod, one channel, my channel. If you choose not to entertain it, you don't want to hear about it, you can simply jump off like the rest of those Biden fans that were on my channel that felt like, oh my God, you vote right, and they left. Kudos to you. You took a stand and you stepped up off my channel because you felt it wasn't aligning to your sensibilities. But that's besides the point. Something that came across my feed, and it was like on TikTok or something. Of course, I don't get on there and do anything outlandish because I'm too old to do that, but for the most part, I like to go in there and give my little speeches, you know, occasionally such as this. But you know, it's the second time this comment has came across. One dude, well, actually not the second, but this dude said something along the lines, not even along the lines, but dude basically said that I had fell off, and at first I was like somewhat put off by it because I was like, who is this dude, another troll running his mouth on my feed when you can simply go on about your business? It makes life a lot easier. Like when you don't have to mention Zod, it makes it a lot easier. But then I thought about it, I was like, yeah, you know, in retrospect, I did essentially fall off, and not necessarily because I didn't choose to. I chose to fall off because I chose not to continuously upload content. I chose to go on sabbaticals 3 months at a time and not upload content. I chose not to continue speaking negative and continue to talk about certain individuals. I chose not to address trash. I chose not to do a lot of things, and that in turn hurt my channel. There's nothing, there's no, how should I say, people want to try to make it seem as if, oh, they're just not interested, but obviously I'm still getting certain perks of being me. So, I mean, and just to be brutally honest, when I first started my YouTube journey, I necessarily started to get famous. I never even thought that I'd get past like 2 or 3 subscribers, just due to the fact there's nothing unique about my stories. A lot of black homies that's out there, of course, we all, you know, walk certain paths. Some, you know, a lot more strenuous, some a lot less, depending on where you landed. But in my case, I did what I did. I suffered numerous things, but I came out on top. And a lot of people are put off by that fact. They're hot that there is no tragedy, there's no tragic story behind my thing, like, oh, well, you got hit over here, or, you know, maybe you're getting punked over here, or you were getting racist comments over here. When they don't hear that, it tends to upset them because they're all used to they're used to stories having certain narratives and always into the negative. And since I chose not to take my situation and consider the negative, I just chose to put it as it went. I chose to go a certain route because I felt comfortable going that route. And I still feel comfortable with my choices, regardless of what cats have said what. And I chose to stand on my own too. And people like to say, oh, well, you couldn't hang over here. But I mean, you got to make sense of some of the stuff that come out your mouth, because at the end of the day, if I'm over here up against everything, why would I be worried about anything as far as like going that route? To me, it would have been a lot easier. Fades has been a staple of growth when it came to growing up where I did. I had family members that are Bloods and Crips. That's what you do. It's called activity. You fight. A lot of times it's to test your chunkums, your squabbles, whatever you want to call it. But it's a test to see what you can do. And in a lot of cases, I handle my business, and that's why my relatives held me in such high esteem. Like, now the fact that, you know, some cats like to bring up the whole sangre thing, I chose not to get into the sangres because I liked my neighborhood. When I moved there, it was good. Vatos were on a whole different page, and I respected it. Like I said, I grew up in San Fernando, and in between San Fernando and Pacoima, majority of the time in Pacoima, but so I got a taste of that life. I'm not going to reiterate the story because people know where I came from and what I represent. But at the end of the day, that means absolutely nothing anymore. As far as the falling off, dog, my whole day consists of either grinding, looking for that extra job, which constantly doors are constantly being shut just due to the fact of that attempt on my thing. But I continue striving. So when I'm not working here, my day consists of Baby Shark and other things of that, you know, because I'm still raising a child, a few child. So yeah, so for the most part, I did fall off. And it's by choice because I chose not to upload. I could have been on here making multiple controversial videos, and I'll get in the algorithm once again. You got to remember, for the people that like to downplay, that one time you couldn't look nowhere on YouTube. That's how a lot of people found my video outside the homies and other fools that just wanted to be trolls. They would be looking at a DIY video, and all of a sudden when they go for that suggestion, it's like 10 of my videos in that thing. So they would be like, who in the hell is this? Why is YouTube suggesting this guy so much? You see what I'm saying? At one time, it was like that. At one time, I was getting invited to absolutely everything. Everybody wants to be like, hey, that fool's Zod. And then when I met these fools and they seen that I was down to earth, it just made it that much better. Because to be honest, nowadays, that's usually when dudes fuck, when you pop it. And regardless of what type of individual you are, solid, stand up, kick down, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, that's all they really care about is status. Anything that can elevate their status, they're going to go. At one time, everybody wants to be interviewed on the channel, and I chose not to because there were just some individuals that I felt wasn't worthy of interviewing. Nothing unique about their story, nothing outstanding about their story, and nothing that really stands out, because at the end of the day, they were all preaching the same thing. Gangbanging, continue to gangbang. I'm down. I've did stabbings. I've did this. I've did that. I put in work. I did shoes. There's nothing unique about that. So I chose not to entertain it. I want to deal with cats that are heavily involved in politics, not street politics, but heavily involved in politics. People that are looking to elevate their life. You got the homie Chino Los Angeles. Every time I see I comment on his status because dude is in Japan doing what he did. Before that, I think he was in Mexico doing his stuff. You see what I'm saying? That those are things to be proud of. The gangbang, there's nothing impressive about the way cats gangbang nowadays. And even back then, people tend to say what they want, but at the end of the day, a lot of dudes could not stand in my shoes. And the fact that I'm standing here right now enjoying life, regardless of any struggle I may suffer, I'm enjoying life. I'm not in the cage. You know how many dudes would give their life to be where I'm at right now, to be on the outs, talking on this camera if they could, and not necessarily talking on camera, but just to be out and enjoying life and have a little notoriety outside of the negativity, just as people to be like, hey, you know what? I felt like your content was feeding me. I see that you paint our people in a good light, regardless of whether they're blood or not. Like, there's a lot of cats that respect me for that because I keep it genuine. There's nothing fake about what I say. I'm genuine about it. Like, I represent a culture that I love, and it's not even my blood. Doesn't mean that I don't respect the black culture. You can't get around that. That's in the blood regardless. And no matter how many times I could get on here and try to tell cats how to go in the right way, it'll fall upon deaf ears. For one, I'm not a blood or a crip, and for two, people don't feel like I got their best interests in hand, and for three, they don't know me, and that's just the nature of us. You know what I mean? So with that being said, yeah, I did fall off, and it's by choice. And am I trying to climb back to where I once was? No, I'm trying to go beyond that. There's a lot of things I got in the mix, but a lot of things are did by not only influence as far as like the internet, but a lot of things are also did financially. If you don't have the proper financials to kickstart your business or get your business really in a position where it's winning, it doesn't matter. You're always going to fail. It's like I tell people all the time, if you want to sell clothes and you want to sell this, you want to be branded, you got to be able to sell this. And in order to be able to sell this, you got to have a name. Even the name that I got, like, there's people that look at my subscriber and be like, ooh. But you got to look at the retention. How many people are coming back to the channel, whether it's subscribers or whether it's people that are new to the channel. Why is your content not bringing in certain crowds. So I expand. I always wanted to talk about different things outside of just gang. I did it. Like, it's nothing else impressive about it. Yeah, when I see homies, don't get me wrong, it's a sense of nostalgia seeing dudes that I know have been down and been doing it for a minute and still with that business.
Things of that nature you just can't fake. That's why, like, when dudes that are, I've ran into other fools that were black that wanted to be from Mexican gangs, and they ask me how it is, and they've thought about it, and I tell them, look, at the end of the day, if you're not really with it, if you're not gonna embrace it 100%, what's the use of embracing it? What's the use of even getting involved in the culture? Because people will find you out. People get on here and they're like, oh, why ain't you like, oh yeah, what's up, Bessie? Like, why ain't you talking like that no more? Because at the end of the day, you're trying to expand. You're not trying to alienate the people that initially put you on the map, but you also want to include other people. Or what's the use of even being on YouTube? What's the use of even having a platform? At the end of the day, whether it's American Cholo, whether it's Hood Stock, whether it's all these other cats that are doing their thing, they would have absolutely no voice if they didn't continuously put content out and be recognized. So they're able, once they were recognized, they're able to put out this content, and that's not shouting anybody out. That's just pointing out the obvious. People want to change certain things in social media. They want to change the status of not being the ones that are just under, and not necessarily physically under, but being the ones that nobody really talks about now, because of platforms that are heavily involved as far as like homies and other, raza channels now, outside of quebraditas and rancheras and all that. Like, you got street dudes really getting their shine, when in other cases they would have never got it, because at the end of the day nobody wanted to pay attention. But yet all these dudes that are rapping about certain things, like, people, yeah, they're on them, but it's when dudes like me and other cats that have been there and done that give them credibility. We give them credibility because a lot of times fools will overlook them, but by us mention them and want to showcase their music, people tend to pay more attention. You didn't have cats come and tell me and be like, hey Zod, I never even knew that dude had spit until you put it on your channel, or I seen you talking to, I wanted to know who this dude was. You see, it's that type of energy. That's how it starts. One will start the other. It's like businesses. If I start off selling lemonade, if my grind is tight enough, I'll go from one lemonade stand to 2 lemonade stands, and maybe on opposite side of the blocks. Competition with myself. That's how it works. But yeah, for the cats that say I fell off, yeah, I fell off. I fell off to a certain extent, but I'm still relevant, because when you're no longer relevant, nobody pays attention. And since I can go to my analytics and see that most of the people that are tuning into my channel have been here before, are their actual subscribers. A lot of people cannot proclaim this. Like I said, you got cats that got 15, 20,000, 40,000 subscribers, only getting 5 views. It speaks volumes. Shit is not adding up. But regardless, at the end of the day, I'm going to continue to talk about what I choose, and whether people gravitate to it or move away from it, that's entirely up to them. That's life. Individuality. It's a new world. You don't have to pay attention to absolutely everything. I'm not on here trying to make you be some super gangbanger, or that's corny. Like, I'm trying to get you to grind and get your money and possibly jump on and outshine me. It ain't nothing. I don't see nothing bad with somebody that used to deal with me above me. Because at the end of the day, by you being above me, if we was any type of real homies, you gonna pull me along and probably elevate me to maybe not your status, but somewhere close. It should never be a tit for tat. But when you're genuine, people deal with you genuinely. That's just what it is. So yeah, I fell off. But like I said, I'm back, and I may not be able to upload as much as I want to. That's just life. Like I said, my mornings when I'm not hustling consist of Baby Shark and Coco Melon and all these other little channels. But at the end of the day, that's what you ask for. It's like, it's nothing greater than that. Like, all the notoriety in the world would never prepare you for that, or never give you that same elation by watching a seed that you create grow. I mean, it's drove a gang of dudes crazy when they can't. So with that being said, you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will be dropping another video. Not sure what it's going to be about, but it'll be about something. Haters be gone. New to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all future videos, and I'll take my leave.
Kneel before Zod!